What's up, everyone? Got a little bit of an exciting video for you guys today, as well as I'm here on the weekend in the daytime, so I'm showing you guys the monster pond. The rays are doing great, but we've got something exciting over here in this tank behind me, and I'm going to show you guys in just 1 minute. So, you know, we always do videos when people send in gifts. This time, however, we didn't get any video of the unboxing because the fish showed up and it was not doing so hot. But we get to film her now and show you guys how she is doing. So right back here, look at this thing. This is a beautiful super white diamondback sturgeon. And I say she because she's just beautiful. But if you guys remember, our good friend Jeff Beatty, he was the one who sent in, oh, look at him. So, you know, an active sturgeon is a happy sturgeon. So back to my story, you guys remember Jeff Beatty was the one who sent in the jow cat for my dad. And he always got his dream fish he always wanted. He's always wanted the jow, so Jeff went ahead and got a hold of Rod and sent us the jow cat. That was a great video. And some time before that, you also remember that he also sent in a rather large donation when Matt's Monster Fish lost all of his stock, and he was getting ready to get out of the fish game. Jeff went ahead and sent in $1,000 and said, please, can you make sure that this finds its way to Matt? And we went ahead and gave that to Matt, and he got some new fish with that. So that was pretty awesome. But just some time ago, maybe about a month ago, Jeff messages me, and he's like, so I kind of feel bad, and said, I bought something for your dad. You know, I did something for Matt. And he said, but I haven't done something for you. Is there any type of fish out there you would want? And I just told him, I said, you know what, Jeff, you know, there's nothing you have to buy me. There's not really nothing I want. But, you know, just the fact that you're willing to do it is enough for me. And he's a very persistent guy. And he said, there's got to be something that you possibly want. And told me to take a look on Rod's website. And just so happened that the time that I looked on there, he was starting to get in the super white diamondback sturgeons. Now, all the ones he got in are like 12 to 14 inch. This one was a special order. Jeff went ahead and talked to Rod, and they brought in a 30-inch diamondback sturgeon. Let me correct that, a super white diamondback sturgeon. This thing is just pure awesome. There goes my hand next to her. So she does have some size on to her. So now that you guys seen the fish, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of facts about these things. So some of you guys might have seen sturgeon in stores, or you might have bought a sturgeon and it just all of a sudden died on you. Well, there's reasons. These fish have certain needs. You know, they do like a colder temperature in the tank. I do believe this tank right now is sitting at around 69 degrees. And when you have colder water, these sturgeon need lots and lots of aeration. So that's why we have just excess air bubblers in the water. We've got 2 there. We've got a sponge filter back there, an air stone back there. This filter is actually supposed to be on. I'm gonna go ahead and replace that because it keeps stopping on us. And then we've got the FX6, go ahead and aerating, agitating the top of the water, pumping in more air. So that's 5 different sources of air right now. And when this thing first came in, showed up in the box, she was on her side and was not doing so hot. So my dad went ahead and took the fish straight out of the shipping container and then put her straight into this tank here. Now at the time, the tank was a few degrees warmer than we had this tank here. We didn't expect the water to be so cold, so we went ahead and did a water change on this tank with straight cold tap water, and then we went ahead and dechlored it, and she started to come back too. And then with the addition of the added air stones, she started to swim around like a normal sturgeon. So if your sturgeon's on the bottom of the tank and not really moving, that's really a bad sign. When your sturgeon is constantly non-stop moving through the water, you know they are happy. Now this is a 30-inch sturgeon in a 350 gallon tank. This is just for quarantine because we couldn't stick her in a smaller tank and we couldn't add her straight into the pond. So we went ahead and took this tank off of our system, and now it's an independent system, so we're quarantining the fish in here. And then once the water outside warms up just a tad bit, we can go ahead and add her into the 35,000 gallon koi pond out back. So I can go ahead and swap over and show you guys the koi pond that she will be eventually going into here. And then we'll come back and grab some more cool facts about this lovely beast. All right, so not much to look at right now because there's leaves all over. It is, you know, getting to be winter time, but this is 35,000 gallon koi pond that the sturgeon will eventually go into in the springtime. Greg's gonna come back and revamp this. We're gonna get larger filtration, and he's gonna ease up the sides of the pond a little bit and make it look a little more naturalistic. So once that happens, I'm thinking for the reveal of that, we'll go ahead and release the sturgeon into the koi pond back there. But there was a bad storm that came through last night, so the whole backyard is flooded. Kind of looks not so pretty back there, and blew a bunch more leaves into the pond, but that's why it's netted. You guys can see the netting right there. So all them leaves don't get into the skimmer box and the filter, and you can still run water through the filtration and give them some aeration. All right, so we are back inside with the monster pond. But there's always stuff that goes on, like that plant just fell into the water. I've got to get that back out. But back over here for some sturgeon facts. So this is a white diamondback sturgeon. These guys are actually prehistoric looking. If you look at them, they kind of just look like they're prehistoric, but these guys get absolutely massive. This particular species in the wild can get over 10 feet long and weigh over 250 pounds. That is pretty crazy when you talk about a fish, but that's why we only have one. And we made sure we had the pond to be able to care for this sturgeon long before we thought about getting the sturgeon. But you know, in captivity, fish usually don't get as large as they do in the wild. So in captivity, these sturgeon usually get around 6 foot, which is still a really big fish. But who knows, with the size of the pond that we have and the footprint and the water quality, this sturgeon might get, you know, 8 foot long. So we will see, and we'll see where this journey takes us. But I've always wanted one of these fish. I always thought that they were super neat when I seen them in the pet stores. And you can see they constantly just ride the top of the water, and you'll see sometimes his snout will come out. That's them just playing. So you can see we have the water level down a bit, so if she comes out, she can't get up and over the ledge of the tank. So you always have to be careful with that too. You want to make sure your fish are safe and they cannot get out of the pond. So you see how far she comes up? She only reaches to about here. She doesn't even reach the top lip. If I need to, I can drop this water level just a tad bit more. And if we so wanted to, we could slowly raise her to temperature so it's not such a cold water tank. So the goldfish will be a little bit happier as long as the high fins. So not sure if we're going to do that yet, because you know goldfish can tolerate colder water, as well as these Chinese high fin sharks. You can see they're all kind of thriving right now. Everyone's up and active and swimming around. The water is a bit cloudy right now, but that's not dirt in the water. That is air bubbles because of all the micro bubbles that we have in the water for the sturgeon. So she can be highly aerated because they need lots and lots of oxygen. Now, if you stick them in a normal aquarium with just a single bubbler, these guys are probably going to starve themselves via oxygen. Look at that. Super cool mouth too. I mean, everywhere you look at this guy, you find something neat and fascinating and cool about them. I just think they're super nice to look at. And I hope you guys are enjoying the little informational video. And I just want to give a super huge shout out to my buddy Jeff Beatty. This fish is freaking awesome. You rock, man. Look at him. So now I think we need to come up with a name. And look at that tail. It kind of reminds you of a cat shark of some sort. Super cool. But names for the sturgeon. So you know what, at first, the first thing that popped in my head is it's a girl. She's beautiful, and she's a diamond. So you know, I said Rihanna. But you know what? If you guys have any cool names, you can go ahead and post them in the comment. And of course, the best name wins. But this guy will be with us for life. So we're gonna try and give this guy the best life we possibly can, and use it as a way to educate the crowd and see how we can inform the masses on sturgeon and why these guys should not be in your normal aquarium. Though if you do want sturgeon, there are some that are a little bit more easy to care for and don't get as big, like the sterlet sturgeon. They actually have regulars and albinos now, but those guys still get pretty massive at around 4 to 5 foot. So like I said, with every ambassador, you know, I'm gonna quit using the word mascot and start using the word ambassadors, just so we can, you know, have the ambassador here and be able to educate the public and say, hey, here's the fish, here's how big it gets. And you know what, it's a good thing for everyone involved. I absolutely love keeping the fish that we keep, but I also get to teach a lot of people on this planet about these awesome species of fish, like this guy here. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will do more like it in the future. Just pick out a single fish and go over facts and see what kind of cool clips we can get while we're at it. So if you guys want to see more crazy adventures with the Ohio Fish Rescue, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay fishy, my friend.